Welcome to Matchday. It is a 12 o'clock kickoff at Ross County this afternoon, or this lunchtime, or whatever we want to call it. Another Sunday lunchtime showdown for Rangers as we aim to obviously cut that lead that Celtic have built up at the top of the table back down to 1 point ahead of our game in hand, which comes on Wednesday against Dundee. If it takes place, where it takes place, how it takes place, who knows? I suppose it depends if it rains again. If it rains again, God only knows what's going to happen. Let's face it, global warming is a bitch. Right, so let's have a look ahead to today's game as Rangers travel to Dingwall to take on Ross County. But Ross County are not a great side. We know that. We've seen that. They're right down the bottom of the league. Although their home form in recent times hasn't been as bad as we'll talk about shortly. But let's just recap yesterday's results and look at where we are, how things stand, what is the status quo going into today's game, today's huge must-win game. Well, yesterday, Dundee, yes, the global warming champs, went up to Pittodrie and drew 0-0 with Aberdeen, pretty much securing their place in sixth, unfortunately. I think the best place for Dundee, personally, is back in the championship where they belong. Plus, if you're back in the Lowland League with their crappy pitch and their crappy stadium, they don't really deserve to be in the top division. Celtic won 3-0 against St Mirren at Parkhead. Unfortunately, all the goals coming in the second half. Typical Celtic. Hearts won 4-2 against Livy, pretty much condemning Livy to the drop. Motherwell won, Hibs won. Two teams that were chasing that sixth place, pretty much taking each other out. And St Johnstone are losing at home to a team that had an excellent season, in my opinion. Kilmarnock, Derek McInnes deserves a lot of credit for the job that he's done at Rugby Park this season. All that leaves the SPL table looking as follows, with Celtic top on 78 points, having played 33 games, the plus 54 goal difference. They played 2 more games than Rangers, who sit on 74 points. Obviously, a win against Ross County today, a win against Dundee on Wednesday, and we would go to up there to 80 points, to be 2 points clear of them going into the post-split fixtures. Hearts and Kilmarnock sit 3rd and 4th, respectively. Hearts pretty secure in 3rd on 62 points. Killy in 4th on 51 points. St Mirren sit 5th on 43, and Dundee 6th on 40. Like I said, securing their place in the top 6. Hibs finished 7th on 39. Motherwell 8th on 37. Aberdeen on 35. Yes, that's right, guys. No trip back to Pittodrie. No trip for them back to Ibrox to take on the Sheep. They will not be in the top 6 post-split, which is shows how bad a season they've had. St Johnstone in 10th. Ross County down in that playoff spot in 11th. Likelihood they will face the playoff against a team from the Championship, and Livy pretty much gone at the bottom. So we face a team tomorrow that are pretty much scrapping. They are scrapping. And as we've seen, when you play against a team that's down the bottom, that is scrapping for its life, that is fighting for its life, it's going to make life as difficult as possible for you. It's going to make life as complicated as possible for you. I fully expect Livy to sit in, to play their 3-4-1-2, to make things as difficult as possible, to restrict, to mid-block, low block, pack the centre of the field, and make it as difficult as possible for Rangers to play football tomorrow. In fact, I think they'll be hoping that a football game does not break out at all tomorrow, and it stays as a fight, a battle. They'll break things up. They'll take their time. They'll do everything they can to try and frustrate Rangers, because their feeling will be the longer they can frustrate us, the longer they can obviously cause trouble against us, the more likelihood they have of sneaking a result against us. Now, if we look back at our previous meetings with Ross County at their stadium, and this is the key thing, I've broken this down to just look at the games at Ross County rather than actually looking across all the games. With Ibrox, obviously, and at Ross County. Look, realistically, Ibrox, we're going to win all those games. Of course we are, because that's just what happens. It really does. So let's have a look back across the fixtures at Ross County's ground and have a quick look at the most recent results. So Last time we met them at their ground was in 2023 on Matchday 3, and we beat them 2-0. Previous to that, there was a 1-0 win in 2022. Then there was a 3-3 draw. And if you look at that, that is the only non-winning result out of their last few fixtures. Rangers have an excellent record up in Dingwall against Ross County. Previous to that, there was a 4-2 victory for Rangers in 2021, a 4-0 victory. For that, a 1-0, a 4-0, and a 2-1. It seems that every so often we're due a 4-goal performance against them. You know, it would be great if we could have a 4-goal performance against them today, and really put them to the sword. Really, lay down a marker, send a signal. Something that we were definitely wanting to see from Rangers today. So, looking at that, guys, it's an excellent record we have against them at their place. Let me take the last 5 games, it's 4 wins, 1 draw. Take the last 10 games, even it's 9 wins, 1 draw. There's no defeats in there at all. An absolutely excellent record against them. So look, at their place, our record is very, very good. That's something we'll be aiming to keep up tomorrow. Now let's have a quick look at Ross County and their recent results. Now this is the recent games that Ross County have played. 1-0 defeat away at Rugby Park, which, there's no shame in that. A lot of teams have gone to Rugby Park and lost this season, including ourselves. Yes, we did win 1. We did, obviously, the last one we were there, but we did lose on the opening day of the season at Rugby Park. Celtic have lost there. A good few teams have lost there, so there's no shame in losing 1-0 to Killy. A 2-1 victory against Hearts. So I think, that'll be a kind of blueprint they'll be looking to follow, the way they played against Hearts to play against us. I know we're a lot better than team than Hearts, but Hearts obviously a more attacking threat. I think in that game, the possession statistics were 65% to Hearts, 35% to Ross County. So there is that, that push there. Previous to that, a 2-0 away defeat at Easter Road, a 2-1 away defeat at Pittodrie, a 2-2 home draw against Hibs, and a 1-1 home draw against St Mirren. Their home record is not that bad this season. It really genuinely isn't. And yes, we did beat them there earlier in the season. So look, they're going to come and they're going to fight. They're going to scrap. They're going to make life as difficult as possible for us. That's what they're going to do. In terms of their players, you look at their players, Jan Dander is probably their most well-known player that will probably hope to try and cause us as much problems as is possible. But look, there's enough class, there's enough ability in this Rangers team, even with the injuries, even with the likes of Cortez missing, with Van missing, to go out there and win this game today. So, look, where do we stand with this? What sort of team do we pick for this? For me, we've got to go for the next 2 games before the split. Even though with, the Dundee game is just before the semi-final on the 21st, with our strongest team, we've got to push this league. We cannot afford any more slip-ups. It has to be 2 wins from 2 over these next 2 games to put us in a position to be 2 points clear of them and putting the pressure on them. I honestly feel Celtic do not handle pressure this season. They're not used to pressure. They're used to running away with it. And this season, putting pressure on them has in the past proven to be very, very lucrative and very successful. So this is my Rangers team for today's game. And I think, obviously some of you will disagree. Some of you will not like this team. Obviously, a lot of it is dependent around injury and availability. I'd love to have Danilo available. I'd love to have Ridvan available. I'd love to have Diamande available. Obviously, Diamande is out with his thumb injury, not available for this game, as Philippe Clement told us in the presser the other day. So, look, Jack Butland picks himself. The guy's a class act. He's a top goalkeeper. I don't get the criticism he's had from the old firm. He pulled off some brilliant saves in that game to actually keep us in the games. I think you need to keep your criticism on the down low for Jack Butland. Tav will start at right back. Yes, he had an absolute shocker first half against Celtic. Yes, he gave away that stupid goal to Dazen Maida, and Maida made him look very silly on a number of occasions in that first half. But Ross County have nobody of the talent of Dazen Maida, who isn't even that good, actually. I would go with Suter and Balogun in central defence. I just think Connor Goldson needs a break. He needs a rest. Since the winter break, he has not played well at all. He has looked very, very poor. And that's why I would leave him out. I don't think Clement will, but I would honestly leave him out. The guy has been shocking since the winter break, really poor. And against Celtic, again, he was like a rabbit caught in the headlights. John Souttar has been by far our best defender this season and is actually nominated for the Men's Player of the Season. Balogun's had a class season as well, has done very well. Sterling, I'm going to keep him at left back. The reason being, look, I would so much love and prefer to have a natural left footer out there. But look, you just can't risk Borna Barisic. You genuinely can't. The guy knows he's off in the summer. He's been poor when he has played this season. The last game he did play, he was hooked at half time because he was so bad. It was his mistake which led to the penalty that Kelly got against us. And Sterling did well at left back. Sterling looked great at left back against Celtic. He did a very good job. Yes, he probably could have done better on the third goal, but overall he was very, very good indeed. That's why I'm sticking with him in that left back slot. Now, the midfield too will need to be changed because of obviously the thumb injury to Mo Diamande. So that's why, alongside John Lundstrom today, I'm going to go with Kieran Dowell. I'm going to go with Dowell over Lawrence because it's away from home. Dowell has played there before, and Dowell is a central midfielder. He has played in that pivot role before and looked very good in it. I think he provided an extra bit of emphasis, extra bit of legs, extra bit of impetus to the team when he came on, other than that awful cross the penalty box pass that he plays. That's why I'm going to go with Dowell alongside Lunny. Hopefully Lunny will re-find his form of earlier in this season rather than the poor performance he had against Celtic on Sunday. Now, the three behind the striker for me needs to be as attacking and as offensive as possible. And that's why I'm going to go with Sima and Matondo out wide right. Now, so why Sima? Why Sima? Well, when Sima came on second half against Celtic, I think he just improved the team out of all recognition. He was direct. He went at the player. He went at Taylor. He caused him all sorts of problems. He's quick. He's speedy. He knows where the goal is. He was back with a goal last week. That's why, for me, Sima has to start on the right side of that trio behind the main striker. Matondo's been great the last couple of games. Two absolute worldies of a goal. He's been working hard on that in practice with a coach. He's direct. He's fast. I just think he's got, again, the pace to really scare their back four. So that's why I'm going to go with Matondo on the left. I'm going to go with Cantwell in the 10 role because I thought Tom Lawrence was awful against Celtic. I thought he was, along with a lot of other players, very poor indeed. He didn't really get engaged. He didn't dominate the game. He didn't take control of the game. Todd leads the press. He's capable of unlocking a defence with that killer pass. He floats about. He causes trouble. He for me is a real class act we have on our team, and that's why I'm going to play him today. Dessers up front. I don't really want to start with Dessers, but what other alternatives have you got? There is none, realistically. Roof has disappeared from the face of the planet yet again. Sima and Matondo are more strikers. Zach Lovelace isn't fit. Danilo isn't fit. Kemar Roof isn't fit. Realistically, there is no one else. Silva, for me, I'm leaving out because he just hit the deck far too many times in that Old Firm game. And look, I am a fan of Silva in terms of his movement and what he does off the ball for the team. But I just think that he needs a bit of a kick up the backside after that horrific diving performance against Celtic. Yes, he won as a penalty, but overall, he was not great. He was not great at all, along with a lot of the other players last Sunday. Well, guys, look, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What would your team be today? Who would play? Who would you leave out? And what are you looking for? Prediction, I'm going to go 3-0 Rangers today, a 3-0 victory. I'm going to go with first goal scorer is going to be Todd Cantwell in a 3-0 victory, a comfortable 3-0 victory. Whatever happens today, it's got to be 3 points. It's got to be a win. It's got to be moving forward. There are no more slip-ups allowed in this league this season. It is solely towards targeting that treble, moving forward, attacking these next two league games, and then moving into the split with excellent momentum before, obviously, the semi-final on the 21st against Hearts. Well, thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. Please, obviously, smash that sub. Help us to continue to grow the channel. Thank you so much for watching. As always, on the way out, two things I always ask of you. Number one is to smash the like, and number two is to remember always, never forget, we are the people.